work they have been doing to advance the cause of equality, accessibility, and inclusion in country. Ms. Bethel took over as Commission Chair in March 2022.
I know under her leadership we will bring the changes. We intend to reach out to communities throughout our country because in our town meetings, in our discussions, in our investigative work, we've discovered that there's so many that we didn't know existed. So many that we didn't know are sitting in homes in some of our islands. We were just in Athens just recently, and we heard some stories in West Grand Bahama and 8 Mile Rock. Stories, individuals, because one time ago it was taboo. Didn't want to talk about it. We were ashamed to talk about it. Ashamed to talk about the gift that God gave us. The truth is, your gifts, you have the ability, you're given talent, and we intend to use those and use your talent.
CTU ICT Week 2022, the Bahamas, was held at the Margaritaville Beach Resort, West Bay Street. The Bahamas is the birthplace of the CTU, which was formed here in Nassau in 1989. For your Government in Action, I'm Matt Mora.
Earlier in the program, we announced the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II on September 8, 2022. According to the royal family's line of succession, taking the place of monarch will now be His Majesty King Charles III, whom is the eldest child of 4 children. King Charles served as the longest heir apparent in British history, and at the age of 73 is the oldest person to assume the throne. The king ascended to the throne on Thursday, the 8th of September 2022, and was formally proclaimed king on Saturday, September 10th, 2022. That is all for this week. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next week for another edition of Your Government in Action. I'm your host, Joy Burns-Roger. Good evening.
Watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the nation's leader paying tribute to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II as Parliament reconvened in the House of Assembly. Also tonight, residents react to Cabinet's announcement of the national holiday in commemoration of the state funeral for Queen Elizabeth II. Police on Grand Bahama investigating the island's second traffic fatality, which claimed the life of a child. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, Parliament reconvening today after a lengthy summer break, with the nation in a period of mourning. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis bringing official remarks following the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Davis says during a turbulent time in the country's history, the nation has lost a beacon of constancy and stability. Our Raven Davis has that report.
Queen Elizabeth II lying in state after a ceremonious procession from Buckingham Palace. Crowds lining the streets as they mourn the death of the world's longest-serving monarch. Here in the Bahamas, the nation's leader, the Honorable Philip Davis, officially extending condolences to the royal family today and says her death is both a constitutional and institutional moment of transition.
Institutionally, the monarchy has been a part of the fabric of our national life, reaching back to the year 1718. when these islands first became a British Crown colony. And constitutionally, since 1973, when our country became an independent and sovereign nation.
He lauds her unwavering commitment to the Commonwealth until the time of her death.
How many 25-year-olds can you think of who would not only take on such weighty responsibilities, but would then discharge them in such a sustained and dignified way for 70 years? From every perspective, Queen Elizabeth II was a remarkable woman.
Recounting the Queen's 4 official visits to the Bahamas, Prime Minister Davis touts the 1985 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting hosted by the late Sir Lyndon Pinling as most significant.
Lyndon Pinling skillfully managed to negotiate the Nassau Accord, an agreement among members of what was then a deeply divided Commonwealth. The agreement marked the beginning of the end of apartheid. This resulted in the liberation of millions of black South Africans and the release from prison after 27 years of Nelson Mandela.
And as the nation forges ahead and King Charles III exceeds the throne, Davis expressed his hope in the continued growth of the Bahamas and United Kingdom relations.
King Charles was an early and vigorous proponent of the need to do something more and better to protect our environment. Prince William has followed his footsteps. They have both publicly stated their strong support for the work that we are doing here in the Bahamas. And I look forward to the further strengthening of relationship between our two countries, especially in this regard.
The Office of the Prime Minister announcing just yesterday that September 19, 2022 will be observed a national holiday to memorialize Queen Elizabeth II. To that end, the Prime Minister says further constitutional discussions surrounding this latest occasion will be held at a more suitable time. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Yesterday, Cabinet released an official announcement that Monday, September 19th, will be observed as a national holiday in commemoration of the state funeral for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Today, our Aja Kwan took to the streets to get reactions from residents, many who commended the government on the move.
Positive reactions coming out of Grand Bahama today as residents are in agreement for Monday to be considered a national holiday to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II. It's a yes for many who say Queen Elizabeth II has ruled the Commonwealth. Therefore, they believe that she deserves this day to honor her legacy.
It's a good time for people who are working to take a break. I love it.
I think it follows being a member of the Commonwealth and seeing that the UK has declared that the same will happen there. It just follows.
It should be a holiday. That's all I like to say about it.
She ruled well. There'll be no one who will rule as long as she did and as well as she did.
She's one of the longest reigning, so hats off to this government.
I feel it's worth it because we've been under the Queen for such a long time, so respect.
It's the proper protocol.
And then there are some who say they didn't even know a national holiday was announced.
I don't really know. I don't pay attention to the news, to be honest.
It's a holiday? I had no knowledge about that. Well, I have no problem with that. That's a nice idea. Saying that we pay respect to her.
However, there was one person who disagrees with the holiday, comparing it to the length of time the government took to make Majority Rule Day a national observance.
We did 42 years before that to celebrate Majority Rule Day as an holiday. Now, one person died last week and we can celebrate the holiday right away.
And although it is a national holiday this year, the Director of Communication at the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrey Ramming, posting to social media noting that it is not annual. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Quant.
Some sad news to report tonight. Police on Grand Bahama are investigating the circumstances surrounding an accident that claimed the life of a 5-year-old boy following a two-vehicle mashup. The traffic accident occurring on East Sunrise Highway and Churchill Drive around 6 o'clock last evening. Our news team was on the scene and today visited the child's former preschool. A little boy's life was tragically cut short from injuries sustained during a two-car collision on East Sunrise Highway. When our ZNS News team arrived at the scene, yellow tape could be seen cording off the area where the fatality occurred. Officer in charge of the traffic division in Grand Bahama, Alfonso Pinder, says two vehicles driven by two male occupants were headed in opposing directions when the driver of a red Nissan Cube lost control and collided with a charcoal-colored Honda.
The driver of the Honda Accord, he was not seriously injured. The driver of the red Nissan Cube, from what we understand, did not receive serious injuries, but there was a male child who was a passenger of the Nissan Cube who was seated at the rear. All of the victims were transported to the Rand Memorial Hospital. Now, we later received a report that the child involved in that incident had succumbed to injuries.
Now, the identity of the male driver of the Honda vehicle was not known at the time. However, our ZNS News understands that the male occupant of the red Nissan has been identified as Jamar McPhee Sr. His son, Jamar McPhee Jr., did not survive. The toddler, who is believed to be 5 years old, recently graduated kindergarten at Growing Years Preschool. The toddler's former K-4 teacher was too distraught to speak on camera, but the principal of the school, Anushka Roll, recalls the moment she received that phone call.
When I got a picture of the car, I had a few parents that would say, Miss Roll, somebody from your school is picked up in this Paradise Games car. So I dashed to the hospital, and we got the news there that Jamar didn't make it out of the car accident.
The principal says Jamar attended their school for 2 semesters and adds that he has left an indelible mark on the entire administration.
Jamar was a bubbly child, full of life. He was a boy's boy, the runner. On graduation day, he would have received the most athletic award.
Our ZNS News team also reached out to the child's father, Jamar McPhee Sr., who was too emotional to speak, but the principal says he was the child's primary caretaker and shares how active he was in the child's life. She says her heart is broken because she knew how much he loved his son.
His K-4 teacher who was standing with me would recall every morning he walked in the class and he would scent up the room and she would say, "Come in, let me smell you," because his dad always had him fresh with cologne. His father was an excellent dad. He, you always hear the stigma about dads in our country, but Jamar McPhee Sr. went against the grain. He was an excellent father. He did everything here at Growing Years for Jamar Jr.
Now, the matter is still under active investigation, but police officials are urging members of the public to adhere to the speed limit. In other news, as the investigation on the low attendance rate at some public schools continue, our ZNS News team caught up with District Superintendent of Education Ivan Butler, who speaks candidly on what he believes is the cause for some students not showing up. Tonight, he is once again reassuring parents that the Ministry of Education is willing to do what it takes to get their children back in the classrooms. Jolanda Thompson reports.
Our ZNS Northern Service broke the news about many students not showing up for classes. Explained today, we spoke with District Superintendent of Education Ivan Butler, who says that the schools are working with parents to relax the dress codes, which is one of the reasons why he believes school attendance is low this semester.
To date, we are a bit disappointed with the enrollment in our public schools, and we believe it's simply because parents have not purchase uniforms and for whatever reason. But we want parents to know that they can and should bring their children to school. We are not enforcing any uniform rules at this time. We're relaxing all codes because we know what the community has been through the last 2 years. And so we want parents to bring their children to schools, and we will welcome them. So
we can get on with the business of educating their children. You know, it's very frustrating considering that the last 2 years we were in a virtual mode, and some of our students are at a deficit in their education recovery. And so it's very important for students to be in school.
Butler revealing that the Ministry of Education has heard the cry of the students and also the teachers, and further explains what it means to come to school comfortably.
We've had some concerns about the classrooms being very hot. And so what we've asked principals to do is relax the uniform codes during these very hot days in September, so the children don't have to wear their neckties or so much. And so whatever we need to do to have our children, our students comfortable in school, then principals have the luxury to make the adjustment, to make the staff and students comfortable.
Parents are asked to come to school and speak with their child's principal regarding all concerns. The Ministry of Education will continue to appeal to the parents, requesting them to bring their kids to school. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson.
Thanks so much, Yolanda. Still on the education beat, the Bahamas Union of Teachers signing its industrial agreement with the government yesterday. President of the union, Belinda Wilson, says that they were pleased to sign off on the agreement, which includes a 15% increase. The agreement's slated active from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2025. Wilson says that there has been such a focus on the monetary value of the agreement, and that the agreement also includes mentorship and a career path.
It covers the supervision, evaluation.
Hello?
Planning and preparation, the duties of teachers, the professional conduct. So many different articles are in our agreement that helps to improve the terms and conditions of service of our teachers. In fact, I had 8 meetings with thousands of union members from Grand Bahama to Inagua. So every aspect of our agreement, the members approved that, yes, we're ready to accept that, or that's a good article we can accept. And when we were ready to sign off, that was something that thousands of our members voted to accept that agreement.
Wilson also shares what it looks like for the Bahamas Union of Teachers moving forward, expressing that they have executed the documentation to have the agreement registered.
What has happened over the years is that we have an agreement, and more often than not, it is breached by the employer, which causes our relationship to become adversarial. So we've stressed to the Minister of Education that it is our expectation that everyone, both sides, will follow the agreement and make sure that we monitor it, we police it, and that it is implemented and executed in the spirit in which it was negotiated.
Heading into news from the crime beat now, police Operation Snatch 'em at dawn resulted in 41 fixed penalty notices issued and 15 persons arrested. It all took place shortly before 6 o'clock yesterday morning by a team of officers of the 8 Mile Rock Division, which they conducted a road check along the Warren J. Lavardi Highway. 44 vehicles were inspected. 15 persons were arrested for 24 outstanding warrants. 41 fixed penalty notices were issued for various traffic infractions. The drivers were encouraged to obey traffic laws and to drive within the speed limit. The operation concluded without incident. Well, Kermie Brown of Abaco arraigned in the Magistrates Court in Marsh Harbor before Senior Magistrate Ancella Evans in Marsh Harbor, Abaco yesterday. The 21-year-old resident of Dundas Town pleading guilty to violation of his bail and failing to charge an electronic device after admitting to the crime. He was convicted and levied a fine of $2,000 or 3 months at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. And 42-year-old Gino Rudy, 42, faced a similar charge. He too pleaded guilty to the charge. However, he was fined $2,500 or 6 months at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Well, since the Progressive Liberal Party took office last year, leaders and members of the official opposition and former parliamentarians have expressed their views on how the Davis-Cooper administration has been leading the nation thus far. In part 3 of our series, which continues tonight, our Simone Davis sat down with the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Hiram Lewis, and a former parliamentarian, Frederick McAlpine. Here's that report.
Tonight, we take a closer look at the government's performance from an opposition standpoint. Member of the Free National Movement and Central Grand Bahama MP, Hiram Lewis, says the only way to analyze the Davis-Cooper administration's performance is to first assess its handling of the most severe situations.
You have to look at the most extreme circumstances, look at the most extreme conditions and see if there were any improvements. When I speak to those, I'm referring directly to Grand Bahama and Abaco. Those were the two islands that was hit hardest by Dorian, and of course the pandemic didn't make it any easier. And let's ask the question, are conditions in Grand Bahama better now than they were a year ago? And I would say no.
Meanwhile, former Free National Movement and Pine Ridge MP Frederick McAlpine says the Davis-Cooper administration made many promises during its campaign trail, but he doesn't see some of those promises coming into fruition.
For instance, they came in with such great luster and such great vimp and vigor. I would have thought that the hotel was going to be sold within 90 days of them coming to office. It's now been 1 year and the hotel is still not sold. That's not to say it won't be sold, but the point I'm trying to make is it seems like the same song and dance of the previous government.
While both Lewis and McAlpine plan to continue their political careers leading up to the next general election in 2026, here's what they've learned while in opposition.
The opposition must be active, must be relevant. We must pay attention to the issues on the ground and hold the government feet to the fire.
What I've learned is that Bahamians do not, haven't for the last 25 years, voted for a government. They've just voted government out.
When asked what he grades the Davis-Cooper administration,
it's incomplete as it is now. If an I was a grade, I was incomplete. But based on the overall performance, the grade is not good at all. D minus at the most.
Tomorrow, we speak to current government officials about their experience in Parliament and its plans for the nation moving forward. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
And that takes us to our first break. Stay with us. There's more news when we come back.
Come on down. Now. Come on down. Now.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them.
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
With over 30 years of service with integrity, services in Abaco, New Providence, and Grand Bahama, providing modern and state-of-the-art equipment, specializing in the maintenance and operation of waste treatment plants, waste oil movement, sludge extraction, tank cleaning, elite portable toilets, and hand wash stations. We are efficient, reliable, and cutting edge. We are B&B Galaxy.
Bad little lady, yeah, she be driving me crazy. When she licking her lips and moving them hips like, come here, baby. I wanna take her down now.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Youngsters in the back of town community now have free access to Wi-Fi at the C.A. Smith Park. Local Councillor Edwin Strawn thanking the government on behalf of those living in the community.
First of all, I want to thank the government of the Bahamas for their vision and carrying this through. And I think it's a good help for the community because plenty persons, kids have homework, they don't have access to the Wi-Fi, even the adults. For emergency purpose, you could ride right on the park. The other day, I did not know data. I had to ride on the park to do some last-minute business quick. So the Wi-Fi is a good initiative. Some homes don't have Wi-Fi, and, you know, sometimes they require them, they need Wi-Fi to do their homework. Wi-Fi, like I say, for the adults to do business. So, yeah, that's a win-win situation for this entire community.
Officials say they are doing their part to ensure that as youngsters are in the park utilizing the Wi-Fi, they are safe. Bushes in the surrounding areas have been cleared down by the Ministry of Grand Bahama to provide better visibility. But Bishop Sidney McIntosh says the community will need to keep a watchful eye out for the criminal element.
Everything that is good, there's always a bad. Everything that is positive, there's always a negative. But we have to ensure the security and the protection of our children, and not just the children, even adults who are here, because it's open. And that's one of the things that I know that the government itself and all those who have interest is to secure the place as best as we can. I appreciate the Honorable Ginger Moxie for the work that she has done through beautiful Grand Bahama. So we were able to push back some of the debris and the bushes and stuff. But now to secure with the fences and lighting, those are the things now that we have to look into.
Your Wednesday evening sports check is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to sports. We do have some updates with volleyball and also Jonquel Jones in the WNBA finals. But let's begin with high school basketball. Shane Stubbs has this report.
The St. George's Jaguars basketball program has seen a lot of success on the basketball court in the past. But over the last 15 years, Coach Darryl Sayers says their main goal has been to ensure their players are ready for life after high school.
I have some of the best people behind me, especially my coaches. Without them, I mean, none of this is possible. You know, they make me look like I know what I'm doing. We've had tremendous success, and I would challenge anybody, especially in the last 15, 20 years, in terms of how many kids actually benefited from the program. It's been probably more than 100, 150 kids.
Heading into the upcoming basketball season, both Sayers and Principal Bronwyn Smith hope to see that success repeated.
We have a standard. You have to have a 2.3 if you want to just be on our team. That might change this year, too. We get grade checks every 6 to 8 weeks.
I like to say that we will enhance the program. There's a lot of new ideas, and the fact that we are now COVID-19 freer, we are allowed to have a lot more practices.
Multiple players have also been granted scholarships by way of the Darryl Sayers Showcase hosted each spring. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Sticking with hoops action, the Las Vegas Aces extended their advantage over Jonquel Jones and the Connecticut Sun on Tuesday evening, winning Game 2 of their best-of-5 WNBA Finals Series, 85-71. The 2022 WNBA MVP, Aja Wilson, had a game-high 26 points and 10 rebounds. Scoring in double digits was Jonquel Jones with 16 points and 11 rebounds. Connecticut will host Game 3 on Thursday at 9 p.m. And finally in sports, Abaco native Clene Davis and her volleyball squad Salem University fell to Bloomsburg University at home in 3 straight sets in their last game. Davis finished with 4 kills and 2 blocks in the game for the Lady Tigers. Conference play continues this week against West Liberty University and Winston-Salem State.
All the way from the Bahamas.
That's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Saturday, September 24th, 8 p.m. It's all about Rake and Scrape Reloaded Part 7 at No Holds Bar and Lounge, Settlers Way. Admission is free. Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. Officials of the government, as well as members of the general public on Grand Bahama, are advised that the Book of Condolence to pay tribute to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II will be set up Thursday, September 15th and Friday, September 16th, 2022 at the Harold de Gregory Complex, Mall Drive. Officials of the government are invited to sign on Thursday, September 15th, and the general public is invited to sign on Friday, September 16th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Freeport Quality Exterminators Maintenance and Supplies Company, providing commercial and residential pest control, professional cleaning, and lawn care maintenance. Call them today for an estimate.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Lynn Cartwright, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We have received all of your messages, and the reporters here in the North send a special thank you to you for your love and your support. We also want to send a very special happy birthday going out to Hadassah Taylor, celebrating her birthday today, and to Simone Davis here in the North. And we know that you had a wonderful day. The Social Club made sure of that. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
In the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, Tributes to a Queen. A meeting of the minds on marital rape, shining a light on suicide, and another loss for Jonquel and Son. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Superfast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lapinder, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. House members today returning from their traditional summer recess, only to mark a solemn occasion, the death of iconic figure Queen Elizabeth II. Leading off today's tributes, the Prime Minister spoke to the global impact of her passing and the indelible mark the late monarch has left in the hearts and minds of the nation. Fern Carey starts us off tonight.
In expressing condolences to King Charles III and all members of the royal family following the death of Queen Elizabeth II, Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis Casey indicated that the death of the late monarch has impacted the entire global community, as Her Majesty was an international icon of steady leadership and dedicated service over these past 70 years.
Her Majesty's dedicated commitment to fulfilling her duty and the warmth, wit, and wisdom with which she did so are legendary. How many 25-year-olds can you think of who would not only take on such weighty responsibilities, but would then discharge them in such a sustained and dignified way for 70 years? From every perspective, Queen Elizabeth II was a remarkable woman. Her late Majesty's commitment to the Commonwealth is well known.
Highlighting the deep ties between the United Kingdom and the Bahamas, the Prime Minister expressed the hope that the bilateral relationship between our two countries will continue to grow in the years ahead.
And I've met King Charles III last year at COP26 in Glasgow, and earlier this year at Shogum in Kigali, Rwanda. I was also pleased to host Prince William and his wife Catherine on their royal visit back in May. King Charles was an early and vigorous proponent of the need to do something more and better to protect our environment. Prince William has followed his footsteps.
Acknowledging that the monarch's death has reopened the debate on whether or not the Bahamas should become a republic, the Prime Minister said it is an issue that can be addressed after the official period of mourning for the Queen has passed.
Our High Commissioner in London, Mr. Ellison Greenslade, was hosted by King Charles at a private reception about 2 days ago. He also represented us earlier today by being a member of the small official delegation receiving the Queen's body at Westminster. And after the state funeral in London on Monday, I was invited to attend the final committal of Her Majesty's body at Windsor. These privileges attest to the fact that the British monarch remains head of state in the Bahamas, represented by our Governor General, and attest to the fact that the Bahamas is back on the national scene.
Parliamentarians also observed a moment of silence in memory of the late Queen before the House of Assembly adjourned. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
While opposition leader Michael Pintard also expressing condolences to the royal family. In doing so, he lauded the Queen for serving the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth of Nations with distinction.
Her Majesty the Queen was, by many estimates, a consummate leader who served humanity with dignity, decency, and unchanging loyalty during 70-year reign of the Commonwealth of Nations. Her Majesty the Queen was committed to empowering young people. I remember the contributions of the royal family as I served as the youth spokesperson for then 52 Commonwealth countries for a 3-year period. She was diligent in terms of the work done in protecting the environment.
Pintard adding that the late sovereign had a special place in her heart for the Bahamas.
We recall that Her Majesty was fond of the Bahamas, having visited these shores on 5 occasions during her reign, in 1966, 1975, and of course during her Silver Jubilee in 1977, and during Shogum 1985 and in 1994.
London, hundreds of thousands of mourners filed into Westminster Hall to say goodbye to Britain's longest reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, who lies in state. The Queen's coffin made the trek from Buckingham Palace to Westminster, where she will remain until her state funeral on Monday, September 19th, a bank holiday. International reports are that some 500 heads of state and dignitaries will attend, and that include leaders of the Commonwealth, of which the Bahamas is a member. Our news team understands that Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis, KC, and Governor General His Excellency Sir Cornelius Smith will attend. Well, from the House of Assembly, the Prime Minister this afternoon made his way to the Bahama Resort, the venue for the Association of International Bankers and Trust Companies Nassau Conference. Our Jimenita Swain was down there. She gives us the details of what the Prime Minister shared with the group.
Invention, disruption, resilience, and innovation, the history of the Bahamas as told by the nation's Chief Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis. Speaking to a room full of financial services experts, the Prime Minister reflected on the importance and growth of the financial services industry.
The recent arrival and presence of the FTX cryptocurrency exchange underscores the readiness of the Bahamas to be a home for global leaders in the crypto space. Back in 2019, the Central Bank of the Bahamas launched the Sand Dollar, the world's first digital currency. And earlier this year, my government launched a policy white paper outlining the future of digital assets in the Bahamas.
Now, Prime Minister Davis noted that the Bahamas is not only open for business, but interested in being at the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrency, and carbon credits.
My government is a strong advocate for this industry with an open door policy. Additionally, we committed ourselves to enhancing the ease of doing business in the Bahamas. Some of the ways to achieve this are by revamping and streamlining processes at the Bahamas Investment Authority, the Registrar General's Office, Department of Inland Revenue, and other agencies to become one of the most business-friendly countries for local and foreign investors.
Despite the external pressures placed on the financial services industry, the Prime Minister notes that it continues to be resilient due to the work of those within the industry.
Notwithstanding the regulatory and compliance challenges, we have proven over and over again that by working together with a shared vision and rallying around common objectives, we can and have weathered the blacklistings, the grey listings, and the watch lists. We have managed to build a credible, reputable, dependable, safe, and well-regulated financial jurisdiction with an international reputation for having the highest standards of business ethics and codes of conduct.
More than 200 delegates participated in this two-day event. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jimenita Swain.
Real property tax accounting for more than 80% of the billion owed to the government, and according to Acting Controller of the Department of Inland Revenue, Shonda Strawn, of that figure, foreign-owned properties make up the lion's share. As Strawn points out, if you own a property, you should know your real property tax status.
There was an amendment in July 2022 that increased the owner-occupied exemption from $250,000 to $300,000. That's a big help for the average middle-class Bahamian family. So if you own and occupy the property that you own, so it's owner-occupied, and it's valued $300,000 or less, you do not pay property tax. But still, know your tax certificate, or I should say know your assessment number, and know what the tax arrears, if any, is on that property. Even though you may feel that you're exempted, still get on a regular basis your real property tax certificates.
Well, in other news, nearly 30 years of inaction on marital rape could soon change as the government takes the first step to gauge the religious community's take on the matter. The Minister of Social Services, however, says it is long overdue, and this as activists continue to call for change. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
Government is set to meet with religious leaders on the controversial issue of marital rape Thursday, after Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, admits that for too long, the country has been complacent in addressing the matter.
We invited the church to accept the church's word and positions on the issue, because we want to make certain where we're going. Yes, this has been outstanding for years. Yes, we've told the United Nations and other organizations that we will arrive at a decision. We've said that for many years, but we have not done so.
Nearly 3 decades after the Bahamas ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the CEDAW Convention, the country has yet to criminalize marital rape, a move activists like Director of the Bahamas Crisis Center, Dr. Sandra Dane Patterson, and others have called for government to act on. The issue was further ignited after Supreme Court Justice Denise Lewis Johnson ruled there is no rape in marriage under current Bahamian law. Still, she granted a woman a divorce on the grounds of cruelty. Wilchcombe says for those women who feel victimized, it's crucial to address the issue.
As the Prime Minister said, no one to be left behind. We're responding to the cry. We're responding to what is an urgent issue for women, and we cannot ignore it. We're men. And so men have a tendency not to always appreciate and understand. As Minister of Social Services, my responsibility is to hear all sides. My responsibility is to be the messenger, to ensure that we get the message, we get the message right. And the way to do it is to sit with everybody, talk with everybody, to arrive at the position, and once it's done, to take it forward.
He says Attorney General Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder and his team are working to draft legislation to define rape in all circumstances that will be acceptable to the public.
We're going to the stakeholders, we're going to the church, we're sitting down with all sides, and at the end of it all, we hope to arrive at a position that we can present to the government of the Bahamas, and of course the government of the Bahamas, the Attorney General, and the Cabinet of the Bahamas will make the decision where we go next.
The Bahamas is one of 5 CARICOM countries that has not criminalized marital rape. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What makes us experts? Every bite. And while it's impossible to know how many there have been in KFC's history, each one of them is crucial. Because our secret travels from mouth to mouth. And we know that the first bite will never be the last. Kentucky Deluxe Chicken Sandwich, a triple breaded chicken breast, premium mayo, pickles, lettuce, tomato, and cheese on a buttery brioche bun. All our chicken expertise in a sandwich. Kentucky Deluxe Chicken Sandwich, only at KFC Nassau.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Are you a contractor or new homeowner? Maybe you need a few pieces of lumber for your DIY projects. Welcome to Capital Lumber, the newest building materials company in the Bahamas. Located on Parkgate Road, Nassau, helping you to maximize your savings on lumber, cement, shingles, tools, and much more. Your one-stop shop for all your building essentials. With free delivery to the mail booth. Visit us today. Capital Lumber. Build strong.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Well, those legal woes for Long Island Member of Parliament Adrian Gibson far from over. This as the former Water and Sewage Executive Chairman and his alleged co-conspirators in a high-profile corruption case were today served with a voluntary bill of indictment in the Magistrates Court. Gibson served alongside his former campaign manager Joanne Knowles, his cousin Rashay Gibson, and Jerome Missick. It's their latest court appearance after their initial arraignment back in mid-June. The group altogether facing just over 100 charges. Gibson himself facing 56 counts ranging from conspiracy to bribery, receiving fraud, and money laundering. Prosecutors allege that among other acts, Gibson failed to declare his interest in a series of government contracts awarded to people he reportedly knew. Former WSC General Manager Elwood Donaldson and Peaches Farquharson were previously served on August 26 for alleged crimes relating to this matter. As for the trial of the Long Island MP, Gibson, Knowles, and Missick, their case will be forwarded to a Supreme Court judge. The group's due to appear before Supreme Court Justice Bernard Turner on September 23rd. Well, healthcare providers, representatives from a wide cross-section of government agencies, representatives from civil society and others, all turning out for a workshop at Super Clubs Breezes. The one-day forum focusing on strategies to reduce the negative impacts of health due to climate change-related events on the population. Senior Medical Officer and Project Coordinator for Climate Change and Health Projects for the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Calais Phillip, says they hope to help the population understand how climate-related events affect the health system and ways to mitigate the effects.
We know that at times we've had a lot of rain. When we have a lot of rain, there are reservoirs of water. Water allows for the breeding of mosquitoes. The breeding of mosquitoes carry certain diseases. They call them vector-borne diseases. So if you remember, we've had how many? We've had Zika, chikungunya, dengue, and malaria in our country. Those are representative of climate-related health events because of the change in the climate, in that it has gotten hotter. What that means is because it's gotten hotter, these mosquitoes are now breeding more. And so our population then is at risk.
Well, the Anchor Group has been commissioned to develop a pilot program of an electronic-based system towards connectivity of both public and private healthcare providers on the same platform to identify the information. The group's Chief Executive Officer, Kevin Howell, anticipates significant changes.
And then we are going to be piloting a technology to support the rollout in a few clinics. So Doctors Hospital, Princess Margaret Hospital. We also are looking at two public clinics. I think it's Fleming's Clinic, South Beach, and a private clinic, which is a walk-in clinic. Dr. Kevin Bowe. So we are really excited about this project because it will truly help to transform the health system and the early response to potential outbreaks that we could basically mitigate long before it actually happens.
Also on health news, the latest stats point to now 2 people on the intensive care unit fighting off the COVID virus, with another 17 listed as moderately ill in hospital. These figures based on the September 12th COVID dash that also reflects 15 new infections, 14 of them on New Providence, that remaining 1 on Grand Bahama. At last count, 123 people were considered active COVID cases in the face of 13 recoveries. Health officials, meantime, are hoping to raise awareness over the apparent upswing in suicide here in the country. Officials at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center have organized a number of activities in observance of suicide prevention this month. Staff nurse at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center, Jacqueline Burrows Barnaby, says the stigma associated with suicide is growing.
Suicide Prevention Month, it is a time when we bring awareness to suicide, its causes, and how to prevent it. The National Suicide Prevention Month is observed every year in September, and World Suicide Prevention Day is also observed on the 10th.
Nurse Barnaby issued this appeal.
I appeal to persons who are feeling suicidal or who are dealing with the death of someone who has died to reach out to someone. Surround yourself with supportive and emotional family members who can assist you in you expressing your fears, your feelings, and also it helps them from having emotional burnout. So that family support is extremely important, and the professional help.
Well, figures on school attendance are in, but it seems the numbers keep coming up short. This as education officials express concern over seemingly low numbers for school attendance only 3 weeks into the new school year. The revelation coincides with the return of full-fledged face-to-face instruction this semester. Officials notably seeing a lapse in numbers last year during virtual instruction. Speaking to press on the sidelines of an education summit on Monday, Minister of State for Education, the Honorable Zane Lightbourne, says they're hoping to get an accurate picture of school attendance by October.
There are many schools that have identified that they have a lower population, and so that work is still going on for us to identify, and along with the Department of Statistics and other agents to identify what happened to our students, that the numbers are actually that are not showing. Some of them may have moved out of country, some of them may have gone private or otherwise, and homeschooling we know is growing, and so we have to identify where exactly the students are and what their circumstances are.
Minister Lightbourne also sending out an appeal to the parents of those students missing from the classroom.
We noticed for some schools I don't want to name that the attendance levels are growing as the days go by. And so we know that in some cases, if parents are keeping students home, which we know, that we're appealing to those parents to make sure that your children come to school. Please make sure that your children are identified as receiving a good quality education. Our nation depends on it, and we don't need them to be trickling in late, because once school is settled, we expect our students to move at a steady pace.
Well, still on education this evening, stakeholders in education from all over the region in town this week for the commencement of the Bahamas Education and Scholarship Summit, an annual initiative that seeks to increase accessibility to higher education opportunities for students across the Bahamas. This year, officials from more than 18 universities in the United States have joined the three-day forum hosted under the theme, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dream." Speaking at the seminar's opening, Minister of State for Education, the Honorable Zane Lightbourne, applauded the foundation for the critical role it plays in opening doors for students who would not have the opportunity otherwise.
We welcome and commend the work being carried out by the Bahamas Education and Scholarship Summit, as it aligns with our goal of providing students with a chance to get a quality education. We believe your summit's role is imperative if we are to ensure that all of our students have a fighting chance to obtain international training beyond high school level.
Well, thousands of local seniors are already exploring educational opportunities as they mark the final months of high school. Our Desmond Saunders tells us more.
My career goal is to be a professional athlete, and if that doesn't work out, then I want to fall back on accountants.
15-year-old Evan Hanna, a student from McCaffrey International, is gearing up for the next big chapter, college.
We have been to many different colleges. All of them have gave us wonderful information on with different majors, all scholarships for international students. It has just been wonderful.
He, along with scores of local high school seniors, attending this year's Bahamas Education and Scholarship Summit at the Margaritaville Resort Ballroom. The event helping hopefuls to earn a top spot at some of the top universities in the United States and Canada.
I would like to be a lawyer. For students that want to study business, nursing, and anything in those fields, I feel as though this is a very great experience for them.
Some 21 colleges and universities participating in the college fair. Chairman of the Bahamas Education and Scholarship Summit, Nathaniel Butler, hopes the outlet for parents and students proves worthwhile.
What we're doing is basically exposing them to many of the schools, both private and public schools, making their grade 11 and 12 students aware of what their options are program-wise and scholarship-wise. In addition to that, we're going to expose them to our family islands. Many of the family islands superintendents in Ministry of Education, they are working with us to ensure that many of their students have the opportunity as well.
From all accounts, these students are ready to face the future, hoping to make a positive impact on the world. Desmond Saunders for the Bahamas Tonight.
In other news, a nearly $1 million investment pumped into Junkanoo groups across the country. The seed money coming after a more than 2-year absence of the Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo parades. Altogether, the ministry is set to endow a total of $928,500.
We as a government definitely want to ensure that we continue our protocols to ensure that Junkanoo will be on Bay Street come Boxing Day and New Year's. And so the stakeholders, there might be some adjustments to Junkanoo as it relates from what it was in the past due to COVID. But again, the stakeholders, which is JCNP, National Junkanoo Committee, the ministry, and other stakeholders, we'll get together and ensure that all is kept safe and the parade is at the best and at a higher level than you would have seen before.
JNCP Chairman Dion Miller elated at the resumption of the greatest show on earth.
The JCNP is excited to get back to the road. We're excited about the future and our prospects with our partnership with the government. We're excited to work with the minister, the NJC, and all persons who want to do good and right by us as Junkanoos. And so the time is now. The Shell Stocks and Superstars are will be officially served notice. It is time to defend your title. It's time to get back to Bay Street, guys.
Well, now time for this week's poll question. If the Bahamas were to become a republic, what type of republic should it be? Is it A, constitutional republic, B, parliamentary republic, C, presidential republic, or D, federal republic? Now, to participate in the poll is quite simple. You just listen in for the question and log on to our website, www.znesbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. That's all it takes. And remember, the poll's final results air on Friday. And again, thanks for participating. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, addressed an orientation of Anglican school teachers at St. John's College recently. The minister encouraged teachers to continue advancing education as they prepare for the upcoming school year.
I believe wholeheartedly that this is our opportunity to take the practice of education back to the foundation of the solid fundamentals and forward to the new ground reflected in global innovation and innovative enterprise. We must commit ourselves fully to the achievement of the ambitious goals set.
The minister also thanked teachers gathered for the significant role that they play in developing excellent young Bahamians.
But in truth, you have produced thousands of excellent young people over the years who have and continue to make meaningful contribution to our nation state. Your contribution to education is a necessary and indispensable staple to the qualitative growth of education in this country. The Anglican body is more than playing its role in education in this country. Your contribution has been substantive, substantial, and invaluable. There must be a continued partnership and shared space between the public and private sector in education. There should be an exchange of dialogue, research.
For Ed Talk, I'm Jonalee McIntosh.
For
hurricane season. We got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
Throughout all of our family islands, a Family Guardian home service agent can meet all your insurance needs. We offer life, health, and property and casualty insurance policies to help protect you, your loved ones, and your assets. With offices in Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Grand Bahama, and agents throughout the islands of the Bahamas, a Family Island agent is always nearby. Family Guardian, at your service, at your door. For any inquiries, WhatsApp us at 357-9632.
Hello, summer. Escape into summer when you fuel up with Shell. Every time you purchase $20 gas, you're entered to win your share of over $50,000 in cash prizes and fantastic trips, including a staycation at Grand Island Exuma, a shopping spree in Miami, and a 4-day trip to Las Vegas to see John Legend live. To enter, fuel up at Shell with $20. Go to winwithshellbahamas.com and let the fun begin. Say hello, summer with Shell today. Conditions apply. Hello, summer.
Technology and innovation, the focus of a summit to be hosted by the Bahamas Telecommunications Company tomorrow. The event providing business knowledge and opportunities to local entrepreneurs. The Innovation and Business Summit taking place at the Fusion Superplex. Our Desmond Saunders joins us in studio with a preview. Good evening, Desmond.
Well, a pleasant good evening, Makusla, and a pleasant good evening, Bahamas. Desmond Saunders here in studio to tell you about the amazing opportunities the Bahamas Telecommunications is promoting this week. Actually, as you're aware, BTC, the Bahamas Telecommunications Company, has promoted and established a number of programs to promote small business development. It's been a key focus for the Bahamas Telecommunication Company for years. Tomorrow is BTC's Innovation Masterclass Strategy event that's taking place tomorrow. Senior Marketing Manager at BTC, Carol Burnett, joining us to tell us more about it. Tell us about this event and the impact it's going to have on the business world, the small business world, which has been your key focus, as I said, for a number of years.
Most definitely. So we want to ensure that customers, we're just not only selling our products and services to customers, we want to ensure that we're able to help them grow their business. And so from 2019, we've offered our innovation conference, and so now this is our first Innovation Small Business Masterclass. We're happy to be able to offer this to small businesses to help them grow their business. We also have great smart business solutions, as you will hear about later on. Tickets are $50 for the event.
Now, where's this event going to take place?
It's going to be at Fusion Superplex from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Now, this Smart Innovation Masterclass, so you've assembled a top cadre of technical experts from various fields. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves quickly for you this evening. First of all,
my name is Karen Rose.
Okay.
And I'm a digital strategist.
Okay, you're one of the presenters at this event. Tell us what's your strategy, what you're going to present.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to be talking to the small businesses. We're going to be learning about digital strategy, how to take your business online, how to do market research, understand what your clients, your demographics, what they're all about, what they're looking for online. So that way you can build your digital presence and effectively market yourselves online.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get to you, beautiful lady. Give us your full name and talk about your presentation tomorrow.
Hi. Well, I wish I was presenting tomorrow. My name is Tennille Simmons. I head up the small and medium business division at BTC, and I'm so excited once again that we're able to even come together to host such an event catered to small business owners. What I like about this event is not just talking heads and slideshows. It's actually going to be an in-person interactive event tomorrow.
We have seen the staggering effects of COVID-19. Particularly on small businesses in the country. And Carol, I want you to talk more about this point, because technology is very important in this post-COVID-19 world. How important is it for small business entrepreneurs to be a part of this event? Because technology is playing a huge part in what you're doing.
Most definitely, it's very important for small business owners to make an effort to be a part of this event. Here's where you're going to get the knowledge that can help you in this. We're still, in a bit of a COVID stage, but to help you to expand your business, not only from the brick and mortar, but from the digital perspective. We also have a smart business, solution strategist here. So she's going to basically show, how you can demonstrate the features of our products and services, what we offer. We have special plans for small businesses that help them with their website. They get data, they get their own IP address, and they also get an additional $400 if they get their smartphone.
And the event again, as we wrap up?
The event is going to be at Fusion Superplex tomorrow, September 15th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
So be a part of your small business entrepreneur, tech-savvy, professional. This here is for you, and be a part of what BTC is doing. Back to you, Makisla.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Timing is everything, and now's the time to save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow tuna chunks, oil or water, 5 ounce, 99 cents. Yellow grits, $1.49 per pound. Libby spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounce, $1.39. Whole chicken wings, $1.89 per pound. Fresh lemons, 3 for 85 cents. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses, including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road, and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
At the Nature Conservancy, we believe in working with fishermen and communities in order to improve the sustainability of queen conch in the Bahamas.
The crux of the issue here is that there are not enough mature conch staying in the water to reproduce and produce enough offspring to sustain the fishery into the future. So the project is to visit a number of fishermen in different parts of the Bahamas and showed them how to do the research on the queen conch and determine what may be the best proxy indicator of maturity by measuring multiple different parameters.
These engagements give fishermen and communities an opportunity to see how scientific research is conducted and be a part of that process. By the end, fishermen are asking for more information and how they can further be involved in research.
knowledge is power. You know, a lot of people want power, but they don't want to get the knowledge. I think what you're all doing is real helpful for us to give us knowledge. I learned something from this meeting today.
We hope that by conducting these engagements, the Bahamas can be an example of how communities, researchers, and government can come together to work towards sustainable fisheries, not only here in the Bahamas, but around the world.
As a CEO, it really delights me, quite frankly, to have such young, nimble, agile thinkers. Their innovation and creativity is really at the forefront when they show up for work and they're fully committed. Nothing, in my mind, beats the benefit of experience. The benefit of them on our team is tremendous. To really be thinking about fiber to the home is like the next frontier of technology. Rollout across the entire new province really brings a lot of excitement and energy to our teams. And I'm delighted to be thinking about the future of the Bahamas with fiber to the home everywhere.
A few weeks into the new school year, and infrastructural upgrades to schools in Andros and the Berry Islands are still going strong. District Superintendent Jerome Forbes gave ZNS News this update.
We know that in Andros over the last few years we were faced with some infrastructural needs and teacher shortage needs. But I'm pleased to announce that we have acquired most of the teachers that we need for the opening of school. And most of the work, summer repairs are done in terms of the immediate needs like the plumbing and the electrical. The other minor repairs, we're going to continue those on the weekends, on the midterm break, or the Christmas break, because they're not really urgent needs that will prevent students from accessing the campus.
Principal of Bering Point Primary, Lavon Nemore, says while the students are in need of computers and repairs to sporting facilities, they have performed well in national and end-of-term examinations.
We're waiting to get the GLAD results. I haven't received the GLAD results as yet, so I can't say on that. But based on their performance for their end-of-term exams, I'm pleased with their performance. We did a lot of extra help on classes for them to bring them up to par. And then my thanks to the parents who were able to assist their children with special classes and stuff like that. So their performance was well for last school year.
It's now time for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Outside of our studios this evening, we are under mostly cloudy skies, temperature at 86 degrees, relative humidity 60%, the winds out of the south at 12 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,014.0 millibars, that's 29.94 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the family violence this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. And temperature-wise, we are ranging from 82 degrees in the northwest Bahamas to as high as 89 degrees in the southeastern Bahamas. And your boating forecast for tonight through Thursday, brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Pink Center. You can anticipate southeast to south winds at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And on Friday, in the northwest parts of our country, the winds are going to be southeast, 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. In the central and southeastern islands, a little stronger, the winds increasing out of the east at 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. Stay tuned. Your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Welcome to the Cable Bahamas Business Solutions Cybersecurity Tip of the Day for default credentials. Default passwords exist with almost every operating system and application. Point number 1, check the default passwords on all hardware and software and change passwords immediately. Test the credentials to see if they are still valid. When changing passwords, make sure that the new password is strong, unique, and stored securely. Remember, stay safe, stay informed, and stay protected.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. A tough night for Jonquil Jones and her Connecticut Sun as they now find themselves one game away from elimination in 2022 WNBA Finals. This as the Las Vegas Aces pulled away in the second half to secure a comfortable 85-71 win over the Sun in Game 2 to go up 2-0 in that series. The series will now shift to Connecticut for Game 3 on Thursday. For the second consecutive game, the Aces jumped out to an early lead, only for the Sun to come back and claw their way back into the game. This time, though, the Aces had a second wind and made sure there would be no dramatic finish. Jonquil Jones and Alyssa Thomas both had solid games for the Sun. Jones went for 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists, while Thomas had 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Yeah, I think they were just extremely aggressive. I think we did a better job of playing one-on-one defense in Game 1. We didn't do as well of a job this game, and I think that was the major difference of them just putting their heads down, getting to the basket, and being able to finish through contact or getting to the free throw line. Now we're just taking it one game at a time now. That's all we can do. We're going to go back home, like you said, and we're going to have our fans behind us, who've been with us the entire season, and we're going to use that to propel us to a win. And that's all we can do.
Government officials continuing to build relationships to help expand the country's sports tourism product. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Honorable Chester Cooper, recently meeting with representatives from the Orlando Magic of the NBA, this coming on the heels of a meeting with officials from the Miami Dolphins.
We've met with some of the major sporting teams, the Orlando Magic, the Miami Dolphins, and we expect that we will continue these types of partnerships. They have a very large reach. And as you know, these are beloved teams in the Bahamas, especially the Dolphins. And I expect that through the course of this ongoing partnership, we'll be able to find synergies. We will do joint promotions. We'll be able to access their databases. And certainly we will be able to promote the islands of the Bahamas and Florida.
The Bahamas Chess Federation holding its Fall Classic over the weekend at the University of the Bahamas' Choices restaurant, fostering the recent partnership formed between UB and the BCF. The tournament was set up as a 5-round Swiss format, with the game taking place in 60 minutes, plus a 5 seconds per move tournament limit. The chief arbiter of the Fall Classic Chess Tournament was Andre White. Now, the Fall Classic Chess Tournament was a final qualifier to determine who would fill the remaining spots of the upcoming Bahamas National Chess Championships. Valentine Cox would defeat all his opponents and emerge as the overall winner of the tournament. Dr. Kenwell Lockhart came second. Avian Pride secured a third. A Bahamian wrestler making major waves on the international wrestling scene, Omar Francis, a.k.a. Omar Amir, recently found himself among the prestigious Pro Wrestling Illustrated's top 500 ranking, Amir landing at the 333rd spot. The list is considered the industry standard as far as professional wrestler rankings are concerned, as PWI is the longest-standing English-language wrestling magazine in the world. Amir exploded onto the Ohio Valley wrestling television scene at the beginning of 2020 and lost only one singles match in his debut year. After that, Omar went on to win the 2021 Nightmare Rumble and become OVW heavyweight champion for the first time. For those not familiar with OVW, it serves as the feeder program for the WWE, having once produced some of the biggest wrestlers of this generation, including John Cena, Batista, and Randy Orton. And that's been a look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
If you've got the time, we've got the savings. Super value and quality supermarkets. Best value whole kernel corn, 15 ounce, $1.09. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.49. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.19 per pound. Armour lunch makers, assorted, 2.6 ounce, $1.79. Sweet bananas, 99 cents per pound. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Tune into a special edition of Immediate Response tomorrow morning at 8:30, live from Breezes at the Sexual Offenses Legislation Symposium, presented by the Department of Gender and Family Affairs. That's tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. on 1540 a.m. and the ZNS Television Network.
Sports is back. Hi, my name is Evan Wisdom, Senior Education Officer with responsibility for Interscholastic Sports, Department of Education, Ministry of Education, Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This school year, we will be introducing a number of new sports as well as our regular core sports. We start off with volleyball, boys and girls. We go to basketball, boys and girls. We also have soccer, boys and girls. We also have baseball/softball, baseball for boys, softball for girls. We also, of course, have track and field. Apart from those series of scheduled events, we have national championships in each one of our core sports, and we have 2 additions this year. We have national championships in basketball, volleyball, track and field, soccer, baseball/softball. We have 2 additional national championships this year. We have tennis, and we also have swimming. We are proud to announce those 2 additional sports in our national championship series. Apart from those, we have golf, which started as a pilot and is now a full-fledged national championship. So we're proud that sport is back. And we're hoping that all of our student athletes have a great 2022-2023 school year. We look forward to seeing you at the games, and let's all celebrate that sport is back.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we have a little frontal troughing just to the north of us, and that is supporting some showers over the extreme northwest part of our country with isolated thunderstorms in the mix as well. Weather-wise tonight, we're going in for a variable cloudiness with an isolated thunderstorm spot, low temperature getting down to 81 degrees. And tomorrow, you can look for variable cloudiness, again with isolated thunderstorms still looking around as a result of that troughing to the north of us and the extended weather forecast over the next 7 days. Showers in the forecast right into Friday, but things start to improve on Saturday, with the weekend looking a lot better with lots more sunshine in our forecast. Makeshla?
Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.